Yeah, man!
Hello, my name is Miguel, and today I'm gonna make for you chicken's neck curry stew or curry chicken neck. So you're gonna need a medium-sized onion or two small onions, four garlic cloves, a spring of thyme, a tablespoon between 1.5 dried parsley, quarter teaspoon dried pimento berries, a tablespoon between a tablespoon and a half salt. I use sea salt, and a piece of scotch bonnet pepper, 2 tablespoons of curry powder, a tablespoon of white vinegar, 1.5 cups water, quarter piece ginger, and I'm using a 1 pound of chicken's neck. Stock of scallion. My scallion is frozen, so I'm going to show you how I use and store scallion, frozen scallion. You have to use it same time and put it back in the freezer same time. First, prepare vegetables, seasonings. Vegetable seasonings. Do what I'm doing. Cut ends off garlic, clove, remove the skin, the leaf. Today I'm going to add the ingredients twice. This is add 1 and add 2. So put 1 peeled garlic in add 1. We're going to use it to burn the curry. Do what I'm doing. I like to cut the onion in half. That way it's easier to handle. So do what I'm doing. Cut the onion in half. Remove the skin. Remove the brown leaf. The first layer of the onion is the strongest, so you just want to remove the leaf. Spring of thyme. Sprinkle several drops of distilled white vinegar and give your spring of thyme a proper rinse on the fresh running water. Put it in add 1. The seasoning container add 1. Next, grind garlic to puree. Divide garlic half. Put 1 in container 1 and the other half in container 2. Now slice onion as me, or you can dice it as well. What I do is just slice it and then throw away the root end. Add half in each container. Measure and add quarter teaspoon of dried pimento berries. Put it in container 1. Measure tablespoon between 1 tablespoon and a half of dried parsley. Put half in each container. See, this is natural cooking, so by adding the ingredients twice, it maximizes flavor. The piece, scotch bonnet pepper. Cut a small piece of scotch bonnet pepper and put it in container 2. So that's it. I'm finished. Get a lid. Cover your containers. Put them aside for later. But first, Measure and add a tablespoon of salt. I use sea salt. This is container 1. I want to put it in container 1, but I'm gonna stir fry the seasonings and I don't want to add the salt while I'm doing that, so that's why I'm contemplating which container to put it in. But we're gonna add the salt as we start cooking. Right, put your containers aside for later. And I want to big up Stacy for requesting this video. Sorry it take long, but timing is everything. And now we're going to prepare our chicken's neck. This is a cutting mat or chopping mat that I'm using. So what I like to do, because I haven't used it in a while, I just rinse it, wash it, and then sprinkle some drops of distilled white vinegar on it and then wipe the surface before I start working. So this is 1 pound of chicken's neck. Listen, buy fresh poultry. Buy fresh poultry. This is chicken's neck. When I go in the supermarket, I see chicken's neck in nice little trays, laid out proper, laid out neatly. But guess what? They're not as fresh as this one. Look how pink. You remember that nice pink color? I always tell you that the chicken flesh should look. This is how you want to get. You want to get fresh chicken's neck. If it's brown, darkish looking color, any other color than what you're looking at right now, do not buy it. It's not going to do you anything if you cook it, but it's not going to heat proper. It's not going to heat as delicious as if the chicken's neck was fresh. So look for fresh chicken's neck. I bought this in the wholesale. In my opinion, I believe the wholesale stores meat properly and better than the supermarket. For some reason, well, it's about service, I guess. But with the supermarket, because they want to have it ready to cook and ready and available for you to cook, they always have them out. So when they don't sell in the days, they have to put it back in the refrigerator. So to me, I did a course, like I got my food and angler's permit, and they say you should not leave out any meat for no more than an hour or 2, they say. So all this meat that's out and not being frozen, even if it's tarred, it's not proper. The meat should be always frozen, and the only time it should be tarred is when you're about to cook. Alright, so those you see me doing while I was talking, add several drops of distilled white vinegar and some water and wash the chicken's neck properly. Once you do that, you throw off that water and give your chicken's neck a final rinse. It's best if you do this part under fresh running water. Now, do what I'm doing. Go through, take each piece of chicken's neck, trim off fat and any little brown spots that you might see. Get a dull knife like the one that I'm using. It's best to use a dull knife when you're doing this part. Trim the fat and clean off any foreign object that's not meat or flesh. Although oftentimes manufacturers do a good job with cleaning and preparing the chicken, it's just the storage. You have to store it properly to keep it fresh. So therefore, I wouldn't recommend, don't buy it in the supermarket. International people, if it's fresh and look pretty and clean, because I know sometimes the international people might have best practice. And they don't really sell, they are not so quick to sell spoiled stuff, in my opinion. So once you do that, cut each piece of these chicken neck in half. So one side should be about the size of your pinky, the small finger. You can use a knife like I just did, or use a food scissors and cut it in half. Using the scissors is more effective and quicker. Remember, look for fresh meat. Visit JamaicaDinners.com for the recipe. So once you do that, you just put your prepared chicken's neck aside for later. Alright, so this is what you want. Clean and prepared chicken's neck. Clean and pretty. Now, put to heat medium-sized saucepan. Put the soap gauge on 4, medium-low, and allow it a few seconds. Be sure no water is in the saucepan and it's dried properly. Add 1 peeled garlic as well a piece ginger if you're using. Measure and add 2 tablespoons of curry powder. Level off the tablespoon. Stove gauge is on 4, medium low. See, this part in burning the curry, you gotta be quick because you don't want the curry powder to get black or dark. So if you add it just as, and then a piece ginger you can add to as well. Remember I was saying. But I'm not going to use any ginger today because I don't have any. This is just a dried up piece, which I could use, but I'm not going to. Now, it's been about 30 seconds so far. Do what I'm doing. Stove gauge is on 4, medium low. Get a fork and poke it in the piece in the garlic clove, and then use that to rub and stir burn the curry powder on the pot's bottom, on the saucepan's bottom. So you gotta watch it. If you look carefully, you can see the color changing. It's getting a little bit darker. That's what you want. And look too, guys, this part is not necessary. You could just add the curry powder to the oil and then add the chicken neck and just allow it to stay. So it's been a minute, between a minute and a half. Measure and add quarter cup cooking oil. I use coconut oil. Alright, once you do that, you gotta spread the oil on the pot's bottom with the curry powder. That's burning quickly. Now right after that, add your prepared chicken's neck. Now, use a cooking spoon just allow it to cook for like a few seconds on one side, and then use a cooking spoon and then stir fry, coating all the chicken pieces with curry powder evenly. Stove gauge is on 4 still. And look too, guys, you don't have to do all what I'm doing. You could just add all the ingredients, the water, the seasoning from container 1, and then just stir it in and then cover it. But I like to stir in curry powder a little bit before I add water. Alright, do what I'm doing. Add the seasonings from container 1 and stir it in, stir it in. Alright, the scallion. My scallion is frozen. I like to freeze them, that way it won't spoil on me. It won't spoil on me fast. So when I freeze it, it keeps fresh. So just take out one of the a stock of frozen scallion, and you gotta dice it frozen and add it to the pot or the saucepan at the same time. That way it won't get soft, because if you allow it to defrost, the scallion is going to get soft and it's going to be difficult to use. Measure and add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, distilled white vinegar. Stir it in. And so once you use the scallion, you gotta put it back in the refrigerator, in the freezer, same time, and just allow it. So whenever you want, you just take out a piece and use it. Remove the leaf, cut off roots, and wash scallion properly before you freeze it. Now measure and add 1.5 cup water. You could get away with using the 2 cups, but today I'm using 1.5 cups. Now use the pan's lid and cover the pan properly and allow. Yes, the salt. Add a tablespoon of salt. This is a little bit less than a tablespoon, so you could have get away with using 1.5 tablespoons of salt. Remember now, keep the lid sealed and covered within the time. Do not open a pot every minute. After 12 minutes, smell the aroma. Now add seasonings from container 2. Stir it in. Stir your stew in gently. See how it looks kind of light? Once it's finished, it's going to have that nice curry color. Use the pan's lid, cover the pan properly, and allow. Keep the lid on within the cooking time. Stove's gauge is on 4, medium low, still allow. 12 between 13 minutes more, 25 minutes in total. This is curry chicken's neck stewing. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Use your cooking spoon and kind of stir your pot in. Now would be a good time to remove the thyme stick, because it tends to splash and it might burn you and mess the stove up and mess up the stove. If you would like to use butter, add it 5 minutes near to the end, although it's not necessary. Use the lid, cover it properly, and allow. We're going to let it stay for 5 more minutes and thicken the stew. 30 minutes in total. This is what it looks like. It's thickening. The stew looks delicious and clean. Now, to thicken the gravy more, all you need to do is just turn the stove up on 6 high, leave the pan's lid off, and kind of stir it in. You see how the color of the chicken's neck got that nice little curry color? That's what you want. I'm just going to let it stay for once the stew starts sticking to the pot's bottom, that's a sign to say it's ready. The gravy is just perfect. You see, once the gravy starts sticking to the pot's bottom, that's a sign to say it's ready. Finish. Turn the stove off. Use the pan's lid, cover it properly until serving. Before serving, use a spoon and stir your stew up. As I open the lid, I could smell the aroma. And then take a scoop of this delicious chicken's neck curry stew and lay it on a bed of rice. Visit JamaicaDinners.com for the recipe. Subscribe, like, and share. This is curry chicken's neck, aka chicken's neck curry stew. Visit JamaicaDinners.com for the recipe. Chicken's neck curry stew. Alright, time to eat. Whenever I eat curry, I always like to cut a couple slices of tomato. Curry is delicious with tomato. But I'm not going to, I'm just telling you so you can try it. These pieces of chicken's neck looks delicious. And it tastes just as though it looks. Sorry guys, but after you chew your chicken's neck, you can chew it and then chew it down to the bone and suck the bone dry, and this is what it looks like. I'm just showing it to those who might not know how to eat the chicken's neck. Some people chew it and swallow the bone. Sometimes I do the same thing. The flavor of it is fresh, just right. It's just flavorful. I don't cook chicken's neck regular, but whenever I do cook it, or whenever my friends or family members cook it, I'll eat it then, and I always enjoy it every time I eat it. But it's not something that I'm used to. So if I was to choose chicken's neck over chicken's parts, I would choose chicken's parts. But it's delicious. I'm enjoying this curried chicken's neck. Another way you can eat the chicken's neck too is to chew around the bone and just eat off the flesh and then leave just the bone and throw that out. So there's 3 different ways you could eat this chicken's neck. Just chew it, and chew the bone and everything, and then suck the bone dry and then throw that out. Or you can chew every single thing, including the bone, and swallow the bone as well. It's good for your bone too, you know. The bone that you eat is good for your bone. So you're getting nutrients. And the third way is to bite or chew around the bone, chew off the chicken's flesh, chew the flesh from around the chicken's neck, and then throw away the bone. I have, see, like how I'm doing this one, I just did this one just to show you. I chew around, I put the entire piece, chicken's neck, in my mouth and use my teeth to separate the flesh from the bone in my mouth, and then I just throw out, or just throw out the chicken's bone, the chicken's neck bone, or throw away. In other words, I don't chew the bone. And one last remembrance: buy fresh chicken, buy fresh poultry. Look for that nice pink color. It should not be white, nor should it be black or darkish looking brownish looking, rottenish looking color. And avoid, look, if you must buy it in the supermarket, be sure it's fresh, and don't buy it if it has blood-like looking liquid running in the container, because it's not blood. That's the thing that turned me off the most. Whenever I buy any kind of meat and I see that liquid water blood running thing in the container, I know it's not blood, because it shouldn't have any blood running. Once the meat is, once they butcher chicken, fowl, cow, goat, whatever, the blood run out then, and it shouldn't be running again after. Alright guys, until next time, bye. I'm going to give you a heads up. There are a lot of videos that I like. Go and check out my likes, the videos that I like on YouTube. They are very interesting, and I save them for you to watch. To be honest, they are very informative. So go and take a look at the videos that I like, and you can see a lot of information that is rewarding. Alright. Alright, so once you finish eating, this is what it should look like. Excuse me if it's offensive to some. You chew the bone, and then you just place it in the middle or alongside your plate while the bone is soft and easy to chew. Or swallow the bones later. Go see the videos I like. I save them for you. Yeah, man!